how's it hanging YouTube? This is King of Feral Imps, and I have a deck profile of YuGiOh. It's one of my favorite decks. I played it a long time ago. It was actually technically the first archetype I ever played. I believe it was also the first real deck profile on this channel, or the first one in the new wave, whatever. I've sort of updated it, and just a bit, but I just kind of want to show it off today, just because I like it, and I've been having some fun with it, and because this is the week of a certain bird-related holiday, so I figured this would kind of count for it. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and profile the Pidgey deck. The first monster is 3 copies of YuGiOh. Now, he's a little level 1 guy, but he has the effect that when he's destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you get to special summon a level 4 or lower non-tuner YuGiOh monster from your deck. So he's one of the really good floaters. He's a level 1 tuner himself, which level 1 tuners are always great to have in an archetype or in any sort of synchro type deck. Followed by that is the Waifu card, 3 Winda Priestess of YuGiOh. She has some better stats, some nice like 1000 for a level 2 monster. But her effect isn't as powerful. You have to control her, and she has to be destroyed by an opponent's attacking monster, and then you get to special summon 1 YuGiOh tuner from your deck. It's not as versatile as, like, say, you can't... Eagle, you can ram into your opponent's monster and still get the effect off, but Winda you can't. So, last of the floaters, of the main floaters for this deck, is 3 copies of YuGiOh Eagle. He's a level 3 monster, and his effect is even more different in that when he's sent to the graveyard, it doesn't have to be by battle, it doesn't have to be by battle. It can be by card effect. So Torrential, Dark Hole, or any other destruction effects. And then the effect is you get to special summon 1 level 2 or lower YuGiOh monster from your deck. So any of these ones. So how the cycle goes is Eagle summons Winda, Winda summons YuGiOh, and then YuGiOh can summon Eagle, and they can all loop that way. So that's one of the main ways. However, YuGiOh is probably the best one out of all of them, being a level 3 and very powerful for the deck. I do like that he's blue in green armor rather than green like most of the other birds in this archetype, but he's just the most versatile in that anytime it's sent to the graveyard, or anytime it's destroyed, it gets the effect. It doesn't have to be by battle, as long as it's from the field and sent there, and that he pretty much brings out both of them. So this is the good one that you want to get the effect off. That's it for the main floaters. Now on to additional YuGiOh monsters, are just 3 Pelica, the descendant of YuGiOh. This is the new one that was released in Primal Origins, I believe. Her effect is that when she's normal or special summon, you can special summon 1 wind tuner from your graveyard. But for the rest of the turn, you can't summon any monsters but wind, and you can only use 1 Pelica effect per turn. So that's really good. Of course, the targets that we've seen so far are Eagle, so you can bring that out and make a little level 4. But of course, the main target you're going to be summoning is YuGiOh, because he's level 3 tuner, and summoning her brings back YuGiOh, and then you can make a nice level 6 synchro monster. And then the only other YuGiOh monsters are 2 Kamui, Hope of YuGiOh. Yes, before he was the elder of the spiritual beast, he was a kid from the YuGiOh. He's got a good effect. He's a flip effect monster, and when he's flip summoned, you can special summon 1 YuGiOh monster from your deck. But like I said, it's mostly going to be YuGiOh. So setting this and then it getting flipped, you can summon YuGiOh and keep your cycle going. But if he happens to stick around and you flip it during your turn, then you can go ahead and summon a YuGiOh and make a nice level 5 synchro and still have your normal summon. That's all for the YuGiOh monsters. Now for additional support are just 2 Psychic Jumper. This guy, what he does is, while you control him and another Psychic monster, you can pay 1000 life points and switch that Psychic monster with one of your opponents. However, you get to choose which of your opponents you take. So it's like Creature Swap, except you choose, but you have to pay 1000 life points. He's good. He works. I mostly play him because he's a good level 2 tuner. While the YuGiOhs do have a level 2 tuner in their archetype, it's not the best. I've tried builds with it, but this is just better because it's a good, solid level 2 tuner, and of course it's a Psychic, so it helps with everything, so you can summon it off of E-Telly or any other cards. The only other support monsters are these, 1 Serene Psychic Witch and 1 Debris Dragon. Now, Serene Psychic Witch just helps in that you can summon any Psychic type monsters, whatever you need. You can bring out Jumper, or you can bring out a Winda, or you can bring out a Pelica to get her effect off when she comes back after being banished, and then 1 Debris Dragon is there for, well, mostly because, well, looking at this, really the only target that you can use it on and it'd be good with is Kamui. So you can make a nice level 6 monster, but mostly because if Debris Dragon is in the grave, summoning Pelika will special summon him, and then you can make a nice level 7, so a nice level 7 dragon, but it has to be win. So that's another thing that's really good. It's also versatile, say that if you happen to summon it without using any other certain effects that restrict, say like Pelika, you can still bring out some great stuff. But he's there. He was better when I played Tempest in the deck, but sadly now that that's banned, he's still fine. He still works out. He's fine at 1, but of course, you know, you only really need 1. And that's all for the monsters. Now for the spells, which are pretty large, just 1 Soul Charge for your basic revival stuff, 1 Dark Hole, could be Regeki, should be Regeki. But let me just bring up that if you are able to fit, say, 1 Regeki and 2 Dark Holes, then it does work with your GoldOh effect. And then just 1 Contact with Gusto. What this does is you shuffle 2 Gusto monsters from your graveyard into the deck to destroy 1 card. It helps with just refilling some of your deck and getting a nice little destruction effect off. I mostly like it because it's beautiful, dual terminal, and has me waifu. But it's just like a fine one-of. I may even drop it lately. In some builds I have not used it. It's sort of fine. I mean, because I'm not really using so many of the other cards that shuffle back from the grave and get effects that way. But, you know, 1 is fine. And then 2 MST. 3 you could play, but 2 is fine for now. I find that playing a lot of 2 of spells kind of works out. Then 2 Creature Swap. We do play a lot of puny monsters that gain battle destruction effects, so this does help. Of course, switching an Eagle or a GoldOh and getting its effect after and taking your opponent's big monster is very nice, and it's a sweet combo. I've thought about 3, and sometimes I've used 1. 2 is fine. It's fine, but even though it's like a huge tech, it's sort of fine. And then 2 Miracle Synchro Fusion. This is an interesting card. Basically, you make a fusion monster that needs synchro monsters as the material. You'll see what it is. You've probably guessed it by now, but it's fine at 2, so you can draw into it. But of course, if you set it and it's destroyed by your opponent, then you get to draw a card. So that's kind of a nice, works as MST baiting. And it kind of helps to fill out the deck a bit more. But like I said, I like this build of the deck because it's just so fun and tech-based. Next is my personal favorite. Well, I mean, I love all these techs. Telekinetic Power Well. What this does is you target any number of level 2 or lower psychic monsters in your graveyard and special summon them. Then you take 300 damage for each one. Now, as you recall, we're playing quite a bit of level 2 or lower psychic monsters. That's one reason I like playing Jumper, because he's a tuner, and so using Telekinetic Power Well, you can make level 8s, level 4s, level 6 synchros, just off of 1 card, without having any other restrictions aside from the life point damage, and then the fact that they have to be these ones. But they work. This is a really good card. It helps me win so many games. And then the last important card for Psychic decks is Emergency Teleport. Now here's the story. I had 3, and then I sold them because Cosmos got super hyped, but I still have 1, so like, you know. I want to kind of pick them back up just because I like this deck so much and I want to play it more. But anyway, of course, the Emergency Teleport, mostly be bringing out Pelika because she can get her effect, and normally you'll synchro summon with her before she gets banished by this effect. And so that's all for the spells. Now for the traps are all basic stuffs, all your one-ofs, and I can fit them because I'm not using Vanities, just because Vanities does restrict me, because I really do need special summons just about every turn in order to get things going and to keep things going, but all of this is great monster removal, and yeah, and then on top of that is just a Mirror Force and a Torrential. Of course, Torrential does trigger GoldOh's effect, and Mirror Force is just good non-targeting stuff. I might want to bring that up to more, or play the Air Force or the Storm, whichever one returns to the hand, because that one's an interesting card. And then aside from that, just 2 breakthrough skills to negate monster effects. Not using Fiendish Chain because, again, you do need your opponent to attack into these, and because you can use breakthrough skill twice. Anyway, that's it for the main deck. Now for the extra deck, it's all very synchro based. So 1 Mistbird Clausolus, It's a good level 3 because, like I said, you do play a lot of puny monsters, so you can make this 3. And it's a good card to bring out. I just really like it because it's actually of course it's a Mist Valley card, and I just really like the Mist Valley story and everything, especially with Gustos. But of course, again, it is wind, so for the restriction of Pilica, it's alright. It's pretty good. And because, what was I saying? Oh, it's level 3, so you can make some good plays with that. Then one Old Entity Hastor. This is a very great card. Like I said, with Telekinetic Power Well, you can bring out two level 2 ones and then make a level 4. And summoning something like this off of this for only paying 600 life points is really good. Especially because it's a great attacker and it gets its effect. Again, it's a win, so it's there for if you ever get into the position where you have to go Pilica, summon Eagle, and then make that play, then you can at least do that. And it's one of the best level 4 synchros, at least in my opinion, or at least that I've seen. But of course, you could play others, mostly because it's a wind, is why we're playing it. Then 2 Daigusto Goldos. This one is a great card. I love it because it's just it's window riding a powered up version of Goldo, which both of those are some of my favorite monsters in the game. But anyway, it has a great effect. It's basically like the contact with Gusto that we saw earlier. It's basically just the same effect. Shuffle 2 cards, or 2 Gusto monsters from your deck from your graveyard into the deck, and then you get to destroy. You get to get some nice pop power. It's a good 2200 beater, which is alright. But of course, you can sync up from this. But like I said, you make this with Kamui and then other things. If you're playing Junk Synchron, then you can do that if you want to. But mostly it's there just because, again, it's a wind monster, and you can get some nice plays with it. I just really like it, and it helps you refill your deck so you can keep floating. Then is another level 5 Synchro monster. Now this should be the what's his face, the Armades. That's it. But I just don't have my Armades ATM, but Catastor just works out as well, mostly because I really like Catastor, and because this is just my favorite deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's the first deck I played, so Catastor stays there just because he's neat, but of course you can play Armades because he's also really good. Then 2 Daigustos Freeze. This is probably the best card, and the number 1 you want to make. You could play 3, but 2 is fine. If you really want to go super crazy, then play 3, because this card is really great, and you just really you really need it for the deck. So of course, what it does is as long as it's face up on the field, your opponent takes any damage that you would normally take from battles involving Gusto monsters. So having that, and then just having one of your battle searchers on the field just really helps. So having this and say like Goldo, then you can just ram Goldo into your opponent and they start taking damage, and Goldo will search something else like an Eagle, ram Eagle, take damage, ram Winda, and then they take damage. They just take a lot of damage as long as you have this on the field. It's got some great other effects. It itself cannot be destroyed by battle, so if your opponent is, say, like, dumb on Dueling Network or on DevPro, if they have something bigger and they attack into it, you don't take damage, but since this is technically a Gusto monster, they'll take a bit of damage and this won't be destroyed. It also has the amazing effect, which just ties the entire deck together, is that when it's Synchro Summoned, you target 1 Gusto monster in your graveyard and add it back to your hand. So normally it looks like this. You have Goldo in your grave, summon Pilica, Pilica special summons Goldo, sync for a level 6, summons Freeze, Freeze effect triggers, add Pilica back to hand to use next turn to summon another Freeze, or whatever you want. Again, this is just the best card for the deck. From there, just 1 Orient Dragon. Now, this is here because he's a level 6 Wind Dragon, because should you ever need... He's got a great effect is that when he's summoned, you can banish one of your opponent's Synchro monsters, so that's alright if you're playing against Synchros, but he's mostly there because he is a Wind level 6, so you can make it off of the Pilica Goldo. But again, you can make it off of summoning Debris Dragon and bringing out Kamui and getting that effect off. So say if you had already gotten Kamui's effect off and he's in the grave, you can summon your Debris Dragon brings out Kamui, you can sync for a level 6 dragon, which fits with Debris Dragon's restrictions, and make this, and then you can have Debris Dragon in the grave to bring out with Pilica later on and get some good plays there. that's pretty much it. Again, you can make it off of telekinetic power well because it's a level 6, so it's just very useful. I might even want to try out 2. From there, just 1 Black Rose Dragon because it's a good generic level 6, destroy everything. 1 Clearwing Synchro Dragon, which I finally, of course, get to play after having this beautiful mat. Of course, Clearwing Synchro Dragon is just really good. Probably one of the main ways you're going to be doing it is, say, Debris Dragon is in the grave. Summon Pelika. Pelika brings out Debris Dragon, and Clearwing Synchro Dragon fits with both of their restrictions. Only being able to summon winds for the rest of the turn and be used for a dragon, and the other one can't be level 4, so it just helps to fulfill both of their restrictions or requirements for that, and it's got a good effect. 1 Stardust because it's a level 8 wind, again with Pelika's restrictions. 1 Xiaofeng. You just need a level 9, just because you do play quite a few level 3s, so you can add up to 9. Trish would be great, but I don't have a Trish at the moment. But Xiaofeng works out also because his effect does search out tuners, which the deck is mostly comprised of. But just any level 9, mostly Trish. That's it for the synchros. Last is the 1 fusion, the ultimate Axon Kicker. What this needs for materials is 1 psychic monster and 1 psychic synchro monster. So say you have something like that in your grave, using your Miracle Synchro Fusion, you can banish those to bring this out, and this is just great. It cannot be destroyed by card effects, or, card effects. It can't be destroyed by card effects. It inflicts piercing damage, and anytime it inflicts damage, you gain those life points back. So it's just a bit of a fun little, can't really be stopped, and then you can make it off of just 1 card. So that's just a fun thing to do. Like I said, I just love this deck because it's mostly a fun deck. And then lastly, for Xyz, that's it. Just some good rank 3s. An Alucard just for some basic destruction, and then a Totem Bird. Maybe you could even play 2 Totem Birds or something wind, mostly because you can make this off of summoning Pelika, and then bringing back GoldOh, and then make a good level 3 thing, Totem Bird. I've had quite a few Totem Birds for a while just because people straight up gave them to me because I play this deck, which is good because apparently it's good now. Anyway, he just negates stuff, so that's just one little neat thing. So anyway, if you enjoyed this deck profile, just remember to go ahead and leave a like and a comment to show your support. Tell me what you think of it. This is mostly just a fun deck because I really like Gustos. Like I said, I have a lot of sort of personal-ish connection to it. It being one of my first big decks I played, and first archetypes I played. I also once got second place at the locals with this, just because and that was just a great day. So anyway, like I said, just remember to leave a like and a comment to show your support. This has been King of Fire Emblems. Have a nice day.